Again, thank you so much, Marquis, for joining us and taking time out of your day to tell us about your brand, 1186 Real Artesian Water. How did your brand, come about? Like, tell us a little bit about the storyline. I actually was looking at it just a minute ago and getting information on it. And so I do know a little bit about it, but it's one thing to view it that way and then to get firsthand experience from, the owner himself. So tell us a little bit about your brand and how it came about.
So 1186 is the brainchild of a revitalization process for a small town in Alabama. Otagoville, Alabama to be exact. It's a town centrally located in Alabama, almost as central as you can get in Alabama. And I'm from that small town. I was born and raised, one of 7 children. And the town is predominantly Black, predominantly African-American, less than 1,000 people, very little to do. No economical package, nowhere to work, nowhere to eat, one gas station, one convenience store, one cafe that is open from 6 to maybe 2 in the afternoon. I'm talking about if you need to go to the grocery store, you got to drive 30 minutes to go to the grocery store. In the summertime, you can forget about ice cream because it's going to melt before you get home. So you can forget about that. And so when I was coming up, many years ago, I graduated high school valedictorian of my class, and I noticed something. I noticed that when people said, when I leave here, I ain't gonna never come back, they meant that. They meant exactly that. And I was like, why wouldn't they come back and help those that's coming behind them so we can grow the town? We're gonna always be a town. Matter of fact, we decline in population every year because when people graduate, they leave and they never come back. And I seen an opportunity, and I said to myself, wow, if people 10 years that graduated 10 years ago can come back and help me, I can go to camps, I can go to football camps, I can be better. And I just seen that. And I was like, wow. And doing my valedictorian speech, I got up, and as a young, naive young man, I got up and said, hey, if I go off and there will be somebody, I don't care how small it is, I'm gonna come back home. I'm gonna come back home, and I'm not gonna forget where I come from. And so the years went by. I went to the University of Alabama, played a little bit of football, then go to the next level, got into the automotive industry, and always had that in the back of my mind. No matter how successful I am or how little of success I come into, I want to go back home and give the next generation an opportunity. And with that being said, it happened. 2015, one of the pioneers of the town passed away in his sleep. He was a mentor to me, Mr. Palmer. And my mother, it was one of her best friends. They retired from work together. And she called me September 2015. She said, hey, Mr. Palmer passed away. Need for you to come home and visit the family. Well, I'm guilty because I'm out in another city, living my life, going from city to city, traveling with automotive company. And I said, I don't have time. To speed up the story, God convicted me. A day later, I was traveling. He was like, go home. And I had to cancel everything. Ezra, I cancel everything. I call everybody. I was like, hey, I got a family emergency. I got to go. I hopefully I'll be back tomorrow, if not the next day. And I found myself at home that evening. And I visited the Palmers. We had a great visit. It was no crying, no boo-hooing. It was a celebration. It was celebrating life at its fullest. And it happened. The wife, the widow, as I'm leaving, I tell her name is we call her Miss Bobby. I said, Miss Bobby, maybe one day when I pass on, people will talk about me like this. They'll come and celebrate my life like this. And she spoke prophetically. She said, baby, they're gonna talk about you before you die. And I was like, what do that mean? It's good or bad? She was like, you'll see. And out of that, pretty much 1186 was born. So as I'm leaving there, going to my mom's house because she cooked dinner for me that night. One of my favorites dinner. And as I'm going to her house, God speaks to me again at a stop sign. He tells me, he said, hey, go see another gentleman. And I'm like, man, I want to go home. I did my part. I did my part. Right. He said, no, I want you to go visit Mr. Ward. Long story short, I went to go visit Mr. Ward. Obedience better than sacrifice. I was obedient. Went to go visit Mr. Ward. And during the talk with Mr. Ward, he was talking about how bad the town was and how great people was born in Otagoville but never come back. And I was convicted. And you know, I had been donating back to the town, doing different programs and everything. And I asked Mr. Ward, what can I do? And he said, he looked me square in the eyes and he said, you can run a water bottling plant. And I was like, really? I said, I'm in the automotive world. I'm an engineer. I run an engineering company. Fast forward the story. I got into water. From that moment, I got into water. I started doing a lot of research, had somebody to mentor me about water, about the quality of water that we have here in Otagoville, and how many people done tried, because the water is fantastic, but people, it's just the wrong timing. It's like you being in 1700 trying to sell somebody a car and ain't no roads. Right. That's what it was like. You know, like, hey, look at this Tesla. I got this Tesla and it's in the 1700. You ain't got nowhere to charge it. You ain't got no road to drive it on. So it don't mean anything. It's before its time.
Right.
And I came in right on time. God brought me in right on time. And after the mentorship and after the research, pulling my partners together, Kelvin Brickhouse, Derek Bayless, Dr. Tabitha Ford, Eric Taylor, Renee Taylor, my family, my wife, my children, the town of Otagoville, the state of Alabama. April the 27th, 2018, we opened up a brand new facility, 22,000 square feet, 22,500 square feet to be exact. Brand new facility. We own the land. We own the well. We dug our own well.
Oh, wow.
We erected our own building. We got brand new equipment. We blow our own bottles. You know, this is the beginning of a bottle. We blow our own bottles. We do this on site, in-house. It goes from this to that, and we fill it all on site. This is something that even your big boys don't do. You know, it's lean manufacturing at its best. I learned that from the automotive industry. You know, and before the question was, you know, how did you come up with 1186? You know, here it is. You know, we was in the process of doing the marketing for it. We didn't even have a name. We didn't know what to name it. Nothing. We didn't even know. Listen, everybody that's working here, this is the first time they ever dealt with water, ever dealt with a bottling plant, ever dealt with anything. We are all first time, including myself. No one here has prior experience.
Mm.
And 80% of the people here are African American. And 50% of the people are from the town of Otagoville that have never had experience inside of a manufacturing plant like this. And so in the process of doing that, we didn't know what to name the water. And we was having a call one night. We had a conference call every night in the beginning. Every night we had a conference call. Action items, homework, everybody had to come back to the table with something every night. And it came, you know, we had a chief marketing officer. Her name's Chrissy Carboni. She's out of Connecticut. She was more of a mentor to us as well, because she worked with Avion many years ago. But she's out of Connecticut, offsite contractor. But anyway, and like a sister, she's a sister to me. She's like, hey, we got to find out how to name this, what we're gonna name the water. And I said, hey, God ain't gave it to me yet. And she said, well, I think you should go home and ask him then, or ask him, because we just can't go around saying this good water.
Right.
It's like, okay, you got it. You right. So I kid you not, that night I was at home, I was praying, and I asked God, I said, hey, what we gonna name the water? And I kid you not, he answered me. He said, how do you study the Bible? And they had gave me some parameters on how big the name can be, you know, it's got to fit on the panel and all that stuff. It can't go all the way around the bottle.
Right.
So you can see front facing. And I was like, ugh, how do you study the Bible? I said, that don't fit on the bottle. And I also had to use it in a sentence, you know, give me a cold bottle, or how do you study the Bible? And, you know, so I was like, okay, that don't work. But God God doesn't work in mysterious ways. We think mysteriously because his way is always right. And so it clicked. I said, oh, I studied the Bible one chapter at a time. And give me a cold bottle one chapter at a time. That still didn't work. And then it clicked even more. I pulled my phone up. I pulled up an unknown app. I'm not going to call the app name out. Pull up the phone and how many chapters in the Bible? And the app came back 1,186. And I said 1186, 1186, 1186. I was singing it at night, 1186, 1186, 1186, and 1186 real artesian water, 1186. And the next day I came back to the table, told my colleagues, I said, hey, 1186. And they were like, wow, that's where that come from. I was like, God told me. And it was like 1186. I said, yes, 1186. They said, no, you just said 1186. And so we had some confusion about how to present it. And my partner, Kelvin, he said, hey, let's spell out 11. You see it, he said, let's spell out 11 and leave the 86. So it'll lead a variation of how we say it down to 2, either 1186 or 1186. And Ezra, we took off. We ran like our hair was on fire. And we went from there. I'm a big Bible guy. I love studying the Bible. One of my favorite things to do. And I remember I had this strange feeling, not a strange feeling, but it was a different feeling. I said, I never heard 1186 in the Bible before. Sure enough, I went back and counted the chapters, and it's 1,189 chapters in the Bible. And we had been saying 1186 all week. Everybody loved it. And I came back to the table one night and said, hey guys, I made a mistake. It's really 1189. And they was like, we already from Alabama. We already country enough. 1189 is not going to work because it just sound country. So we stuck with 1186 because the 6 and the 9 coincide in the Bible.
Right.
And in Corinthians, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, the Spirit gives man 9 gifts. I said, the Spirit gives man 9 gifts. The number 6 in the Bible represent man. On the 6th day, God made man and he rested. So what better gift to give man than 1186?
Right.
So we ran from there. I'm sorry for the long answer, but that's the only way I can give it.
You're good. One of the things that I like that you said about your particular business is the fact that a lot of the individuals, like this is their first experience into the water industry. And so basically like you work literally like creating jobs for other people. So how much does that mean to you? And what have people said about their experience with the brand in your company with this being their first time?
Well, here it is. When we hired, our first group of hirees was 6 people, six team members. We don't call them employees. They're team members, they're family. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even know when we started hiring them, I really didn't ask because I was so excited. 5 of the 6 people that we hired didn't have previous jobs. They were not working. They was unemployed. Some of them was on unemployment. Some of them unemployment had ran out. And then on top of that, they was going to have to drive. Some of them had almost got jobs or got offers for a job. They was 45 minutes away. You know, just imagine if you get a job making $10 an hour and you got to drive 45 minutes one way. You got 2 hours worth of driving. You put that into gas, wear and tear on your vehicle, time away from your family. You're talking about 2 hours every day that you're going to lose just to travel to your job. And it was like a no-brainer for them. It was like, hey, one of our team members, literally, I kid you not, 3 minutes. She stayed 3 minutes from the shop. 3 minutes. She stayed 3 minutes. I'm talking about she said I go weeks without refilling. Weeks. She said I forget to put gas in the car because the needle don't move. She said I go weeks without refilling. That made a difference. And then what else it done for us is it brought a sense of pride to the town. You know, people was like, hey, I'm from Otagoville. People start chiming in. People that was living in Ohio, people that was living in Texas, people that was living in Atlanta, people that was living all over Chicago that had moved away from Otagoville, all of a sudden they chiming back in saying, hey,
this is where I'm from.
That's where I'm from. So now they got something. Not saying they didn't have anything prior to be for Tarverville, but now they want to attach themselves to 1186 because now they see it in different states. They see people ordering, they seeing people on social media. So not only are the team members, engaged and affected by it, but also the town itself. It's like the town is working for the brand.
Right. That's amazing. What have been some of the challenges that you've had to face and overcome as a business owner and as like building this brand from literally like the ground up? What are some of the challenges that you've had to overcome?
You don't have enough time. you don't have enough time. I highlight a couple of things, but wow, we can do a 2-hour Zoom call on the challenges. The biggest challenge is, a lot of negativity. People don't understand, business. People do not, truth go through 3 phases. First is ridicule. Mm-hmm. Second is violate, oppress. And then third, it becomes self-evident. When we started this plant, we had to clear many acres of land with nothing but pine trees. Right. And you get comments from your friends, from your family, from the community. What is he doing? It ain't gonna work. So you have a tendency, you have to keep everything to yourself because you don't need the negative talk. You don't need the negative feedback because support. And then from a business owner side, you have to, you need financing. And with us being in a small town, there's no infrastructure here, none. So you want to help revitalize a town, but there's no infrastructure. If I get visitors come and visit me and they have to spend the night, they have to go 15, 20 minutes to Prattville to get a hotel. We want lunch. Sometimes we had to go 15, 20 minutes just to get lunch. We want fuel in our vehicles. Sometimes if it's after hour, we got to go 15, 20 minutes to get fuel. So it's overcoming some of those challenges. Then on top of that, you want everybody to buy into what you're doing, and you want to try to decrease any expectation of, hey, I'm getting over, or hey, and then when they start seeing you doing successful, are they going to continue to support? But I can say this. We went through a lot of bumps and bruises. To be exact, when we first started this, we had to put all our money into it. We had to liquefy everything that we had. Nobody believed in us. No one. No one. We got turned down by 18 banks.
Wow.
18 banks.
Wow.
I said banks. I'm not talking about people that had money like investors. I know I'd have presented this business plan to maybe 40 investors that had the money. Show me their bank account. Look at my bank account.
Right.
They have the money. And they were like, no, Shark Tank, I can make Shark Tank episode look like a kindergarten child. That's nothing. And so, being turned down all those times and, and talking to people and they telling you, no, you're not going to make it. 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 There's only one thing that kept this whole process going. And it wasn't me. It was God's vision, because I know this was his vision. So those was everything was a challenge. Everything was, even power, even the internet. In Otagoville, just recently, not even a month ago, they just got fiber optic internet. They was on DSL. They was on dial-up. 2 months ago. 2 months ago. 2 months ago. Houses just got, access to, fiber optic.
No, I'm listening.
If you want an internet out here, you had to get HughesNet, which was a satellite or whatever it may have been, all that stuff. And I'm like, we had to overcome all those challenges.
Yeah, I'm like listening to you talk about it. I'm like, that the fact that you are like still here and growing and doing well, like that speaks volumes with the number of challenges that you've had to face. So I think that that's really amazing that you had the faith to continue on and to believe in the vision of what you were doing to push forward. And now you're seeing the fruits of your labor. And and rising to the occasion, and not only just like what you're doing, but the reason behind why you're doing what you're doing, and sticking true to that. So I think that's really, really amazing.
Appreciate it.
What are some of like the benefits, or some of the things that you think about, and it's just forever like encapsulated in your mind, and it reminds you of your why and why you continue to do what you do?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a quote that I read. I'm a big quote person. I read a lot of inspiration books. I read a lot of Christian books, and there's one thing that comes to mind when you ask that question, and it's this. Here, we have an opportunity to plant a tree that we may not sit under for the shade to hide us from the sun. But let me tell you this, 1186 is so big, and it's going to be so large that generations after I'm dead and gone, long dead and gone. The water was here before I got here. It's going to be here after I leave. The only difference is when I leave, it's going to be called 1186. It's going to be called 1186, and it's going to be recognized worldwide. And when people say Otagoville, they're going to know that's where 1186 is located. That's the home of 1186. So what it's going to do is it's going to revigorate. It's going to reignite not the ones that's left, but it's also going to reinvigorate people to say, hey, let's go visit Otagoville. Right. Let's go through Otagoville. Let's stop in Otagoville. Let's increase the economical structure of Otagoville. You know what? I think I want to live in Otagoville. I think it's a land of good living. Let me go find some land and live in Otagoville. And in the end of the day, 1186 is going to be part of the recipe that calls people to do that.
Well, we've been talking a lot about your brand. So the last thing I want to leave people with is obviously like, where can they find your brand? Where can they locate it? I know you guys are on, Instagram, on social media. I know that obviously we're in the Winn-Dixie store. So tell a little bit about like where people can go buy and purchase and learn more about your brand.
So 1186 Real Artesian Water is sporadically located throughout the Southeast. In Alabama, of course, we are locked and loaded. We are distributed by Budweiser distributors throughout the state of Alabama. Listen, Ezra, Budweiser come to the house and pick us up.
That's amazing.
We don't own any trucks. We don't own any distribution. I'm talking about Alabama. Listen, Alabama, Budweiser come to our door with the Clydesdales on the side of the truck, with the Bud Light on the side of the truck, with the Budweiser on the side of the truck, with Bush on the side of the truck, Michelob Ultra on the side of the truck, pick up a full load of water, take it back to their warehouse, and they distribute it out through the retails in Alabama. Outside of Alabama, we are available in Mississippi through an independent distributor, and that's something else I want to talk about. We are available through independent distributor in Mississippi, Houston, Dallas. There's an independent distributor, Kansas City, the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, Minneapolis, Chicago, Memphis, Tampa Bay, also Atlanta. So what that means is, in those cities I just named, there's a local independent distributor. Listen to this very carefully. These local independent distributors have never done distribution before. And guess what? They're all minority. And guess who helped establish their distribution?
1186. That's awesome. That is amazing. That is awesome.
So these independent distributors, they are family. They have come to us and they say, hey, I got the resources and I'm just sold about 1186. So how can we get in? And they go through the distributor process, and if they can do it, and we tell them what it takes. It's not easy. You don't go out and pluck from the tree and ready to go. It's not that way. Right. It takes time. And all of a sudden, guess what? In Dallas, in the DFW area, we got priority distribution that has curbside delivery. They have contactless delivery. There is in 7 on-premise accounts. You can visit our website, www.11, spell out 11, 86water.com. click on product locations at the very top, and you can see all the different locations where the water is available. A lot of on-premises account, a lot of retail shops, a lot of convenience stores outside of Alabama. And then if you're not in those areas where the water is available, you can also visit our website, 1186water.com again, on the top right-hand corner, and you can click on order now. We will ship it to you anywhere in the lower 48. We will ship it to you. We have subscription customers that we ship water every week or every 2 weeks to Philadelphia, Connecticut, Miami, Idaho, South Dakota, Arizona, California, Washington. I'm talking about, they're like, hey, I was in Alabama on vacation, man, and God gave me this 1186 water, and man, I couldn't, man, I was like, wow, I had to take the bottle home with me. We were like, because we asked them, how did you get into the water?
Right.
Harlem, Brooklyn, Queens. I'm talking about they ordering water. New Jersey, Detroit. They ordering water, and I'm like, how did you get it? Well, I was in Florida. I was in Memphis, and man, this guy gave me this water and said it's the best water on the market. I drunk it, man. I've been addicted. I don't care how much it costs. I'm gonna order. I'm gonna order. California. We send water to California all the time. Ship water to California. The shipping on the water, $42 a case, just the shipping. And customers buying 4-5 cases a time. They say, I gotta have it.
What are some of your goals for the future? Obviously,
you broke up a little bit though. Say that again.
Sorry. I said, what are some of your goals for the future? Obviously, you were creating and leaving a legacy not only for yourself but for others. So, what are some of your goal markers of what you would like to see from 1186 Artesian Water as a company?
So, from a company 1186, I really thrive on everybody eating. I got a new motto for 2022, and I have different mottos that I use. Like I say, I'm a man of many words, and I read a lot of different quotes and stuff. But I have different quotes that I said, different sayings. One of my favorite sayings, make it happen. And then another saying is, it's not what happened to you, but how you respond. And I say that to the team member. I say that to the team member all the time. They'll be like, hey, the machine went down. I said, that's not the issue. I said, the issue is, what did you do when it went down? Right. The response is the issue.
Right.
So forget about that. It's not the person that slapped you. It's what you do after the slap.
Right. Absolutely.
Do a slap justify you going to your car, getting a gun and shooting them, and then you lose your freedom?
Right.
Does somebody stepping on your tennis shoes justify you going to the car, pulling the gun on somebody and taking their life? Does it? Right. It's the response. And you can take that and use it in everything in your life. Boss cuss you out. Is the response to get up and slap him? No, that's not the response.
Right.
You got to think about it. So here it is. Motto for 2022. We got to start eating what we kill. Bring stuff to the table. Let's kill it together, and let's eat together, and let us all rise to the top. It's nothing about, I don't believe in that, crabs in a bucket mentality.
Right.
I control the bucket. I control who get in my bucket. Okay.
Right.
So if I'm a crab and I let 20 other crabs get in my bucket, that's my fault.
Right.
That's my, I'm a table guy. I build a table, and let's come to the table, bring what you got, let's digest it so we can all eat. And
right.
The goal is to try to create as many entrepreneurs around me and show them that, hey, what did you got? God gave you a talent. Let's bring it to the table and let's grow together. I tell everybody, all my team members here, I say, hey, God got something for you to do. Come on. Let's find out what it is. If it's sewing, cooking, baking, I don't know. Let's find out what it is.
Right.
And let's explore it together so we can all grow together.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely love that. I think that's such a great message to have, and to not only have, but to inspire other people to take that message along with them as well.
Yep. And so that's the biggest thing for me. Don't just go, oh, he got money. No, I still work. I'm still an engineer. Right. I want them to understand that Instagram is not Instagram.
Right.
IG doesn't mean instant gratification.
Right. Absolutely not. Yeah.
I want them to understand that is not true. People showing you the results after 30 years of work.
Right.
Not they're showing you the results after 30 years of work, not 30 minutes of work. And
Right.
that's what,
Right.
we gotta help people understand. So listen, man, you'll be ridiculous as a farmer to go out and plant a seed and come back the next day and go, where's the crop?
Right. Right.
You'll be stupid. You'll come back every day.
Right.
Man, what happened? You sold me some bad seeds, because we living in this present world where we think everything is instant.
Right.
Instant.
Yeah,
Not even the microwave. The microwave take a couple minutes to warm the food up. That's too long. That's too long now. On Instagram, if you got a video more than 30 seconds, people disengage. That's too much.
right.
That's too much. And that's the world we living in. No one want to go through the process. And I want to showcase that there's a process.
Right.
There's a process, and I don't care where you come from. I don't care what your background is. I don't care what culture you come from. I don't care what your religion is. Process it and stay with it. Keep your head down. Stay away from all the negativity. Keep your hands clean. We'll cross the finish line together.
Absolutely.
We'll cross it together. That's my message. I tell them that all the time. That's my message. That's my message.
Well, thank you again so much for again taking out of your time and telling us about your brand 1186 Real Artesian Water, Mr. Forge. I greatly appreciate this conversation. It's been a great conversation. I look forward to keeping in touch. I'm so glad that Kasha put the two of us in connection, because that means we will be continuing to grow together. So thank you so very much.
Most definitely. Thank you, Mr. Ezra. Mr. Jones, keeping up with it. I really do appreciate that. And get with Kasha, and I would, love for you to also become family. See what we're talking about. See what the hype is about. Is it real? Is it fake? Oh, I'm just a bullhorn. I got a bullhorn over here. I'm just talking a lot of trash, maybe. See what the hype is about. See what the hype is about. I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna tell you this before I leave, and this is my last thing I'm gonna tell you. I ain't never sold drugs before, but when you drink 1186, you're gonna think of Nino Brown, because I got you. You done. You done. You can be like, I can't believe this. You're gonna be done. You're gonna be done. Simple as that.
Well,
So
thank you again so much, Mr. Forge. I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, I will definitely be in contact for the future.